movie, The Spy in the Attic, starring Mr. Rick Hinckley, an actor who used to be a professional hockey player, but who is now a big-time movie star. I get to be out of my school all morning tomorrow, which is why I'm having a Monday afternoon play date with Eleanor, when I would usually be sitting at the bar of my dad's almost open restaurant. Bloom! Doing my homework. Standing in the kitchen with a phone to her ear, my mom holds a finger to me before I can even say one word. "It's that Colby Kingston," I whisper aloud. I whisper as loud as I can. She nods. Colby Kingston has gone from being a primo casting director to being my mom's best friend. I say, Primo partly because she likes the way I make up songs in dinner booths, and early partly because she's the nicest, coolest, tall, icy drinking person I've ever known. And yes, a little bit because she's made me into an actress. They spend a lot of time talking on the phone about things that have nothing to do with this Spy in the Attic, the movie in which I have 22 lines that I have to be rehearsing every morning and night since the day I did not become the swish, horrible, orange-tasting mouthwash for kids girl, and the movie that is now probably not going to happen because of Rick Hinckley's cracked-up leg. Finally, my mom hangs up the phone. "What?" I ask. "What?" I say. "Well, Rick Hinckley broke his leg," my mom tells me. "But Jules, this is not the end of the world. Movies get postponed all the time." "Postponed?" I asked. I'm hoping postponed means pushed forward, pushed back," my mom says. "I'm having so many feelings inside my body that I feel like a pan of over the stovetop popcorn. I can even see my mom's face. I only see the tinfoil getting bigger and bouncier with all those thousands of kernels popping to life inside until it just explodes." "Are you thinking about popcorn?" my mom asks. I squint my eyes at her. I have been practicing squinting my eyes at people for my whole Spy Girl role. "How do you know that?" I ask in my Spy Girl voice. It sounds like this. "How do you know that?" "Because this is the kind of thing that usually makes you feel like you might explode. Stove popped popcorn everywhere," she exclaims. And it's a picture. I sit down on the floor and rest my head in my hands. Eleanor and Big Henry come and sit next to me. "So what happens now?" Eleanor asks. I shrug. "What happens now is we wait until Rick Hinckley's leg heals. And in the meantime, we get back to life as usual," my mom says. "Life as usual is boring," I say. "Life as usual is all school, play date, dinner, bed, boring. And then when school is over, it will be camp, dinner, bed, boring." I throw my hands in the air and start stomping back and forth. And anyway, I am probably going to forget my lines and then have to learn them again, which is, I look at my Big Henry Hank. I say in a big, loud director voice. Calling him Hank seems like something a director would do. "Boring," he yells. "See, even Big Henry knows," I say. I rest my cast. "Jules," my mom says. She looks like she's going to say something important, or like she might be very mad at me for freaking out like this. So I cover my ears. But instead, she just looks at me for an extra long minute, and then she leaves the room. "Where'd she go?" Eleanor asks. you mean? Big Henry yells in his whining 4-year-old voice. Mommy! Big Henry yells in his big, whining 4-year-old voice. Coming, she sings back. She's mad that I said life as usual is boring, I say. She doesn't sound mad, Eleanor says. Trust me, I say. She's mad. Seems like you're the one who's mad, Eleanor says. She's dramatic, Big Henry says. Hank, I say. Hank, I say. Then I turn to Eleanor, who looks upset. Why do you look that way? I don't like all the yelling, she says. You don't ever yell. I ask. No, she says. No, not ever. Not even in a good way. Like hooting and hollering at a Yankees game way. Nope, Eleanor says. Nope, Eleanor says. I study my new best friend and wonder why. Even though she looks like a regular happy on the outside person, she seems just a little bit sad on the inside. Some crashing sounds come from the pantry studio where my mom works, and we all look around the corner. But it isn't my mom who comes back through the door. It is her giganto easel, which she pushes all the way through the kitchen and into the living room. Ugly Otis looks up at the ruckus from her big dog bed in the corner and decides to join the sitting on the floor crowd. There my mom pants. She seems proud. Eleanor and I look at each other. We have been best friends for 3 full months now, and she still forgets that my mom gets mad in different ways than her mom gets mad. Leona Breedlove, Eleanor's mom, gives Eleanor time in a naughty chair if she does something bad. And I only know this because Eleanor told me, not because Eleanor has ever done anything bad enough to actually get into her naughty chair, since I think she's the best behaved 7-year-old that has ever lived in New York City. Welcome to the show. Who did that fabulously unboring thing? The what? Big Henry asks. My mom is less of a naughty chair punisher and more of a game show punisher. It's a game, Hank, my mom says. She has gotten tired of calling my brother Big Henry all the time, and now she calls him Hank. She thinks it sounds strong, short, sweet, and to the point. Like Big Henry, she writes in a fat marker on the paper, round 1. Then she gets a serious expression and says, "Who turns boring old milk into fizzy ice cream cone with only a cup and a straw?" Jules does, Big Henry yells. And that's a picture. She does. My mom? I mean, the game show host asks. The game show host asks. Well, I don't know about that. She doesn't sound very boring at all. But all right, 1 point for Hank. She flips the page on the easel and writes round 2. Who can turn boring old mud into a deluxe state of the heart, warm swimming pool? Jules can, Eleanor says, getting up on her knees. She goes right back to sitting quietly and looks seriously. Like shouting never happens. She seems for that little burst of second, I decide that I am going to make my non-movie star life be about getting Eleanor to let out some hoots and hollers. Not just letting them out, but letting them stay out. That'll get her all cheered up. Are you sure, Eleanor? My mom asks. Building a warm swimming pool doesn't sound even a little bit boring. I'm definitely sure, Eleanor says. Oh, and just one more question. A bonus round, my mom says. which neurotic second grader managed to land herself. The unboringest new best friend in the best friend history. Eleanor smiles at this. A house. I don't see how anyone could get bored in this house for even 1 second. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that Eleanor thinks this is a load of fun. But at least she seems happy, which is a start. Fine, I say. I'm sorry, life is not boring. Only boring people get bored. I get it. Mom claps and cheers. Way too loud. And all of the crazy behavior is making my face feel hot. I want it to stop. Anyway, I shout as loud as I can. I already thought of a new project. First, watch the tone of your voice, Jules Bloom. My mom says, you're on thin ice, and you're just about to break it. Sorry, I say. And second, is your new project boring? She asks. Not at all, I say. Well, what is it? Eleanor asks. Nope, not telling. I may not be starring in the movie tomorrow, but I'm still a superhero. And a super secret spy girl in training, you know. You'll find out soon enough. Just then, the door opens and my dad walks in. Hello, he says. Daddy. Big Henry and I yell as we run into my dad's arms. Rick Hinckley has a cracked up leg and the movie is postponed, and Mommy did a little game show to remind me that life is not boring, I say. And Jules has a new project, Big Henry says. Eleanor has... My dad says seriously. Is all of this true? Every last word, Mr. Bloom, Eleanor says. We'll have some news too, he says. The restaurant is in full bloom. We are all quiet for a minute. More spy codes? Eleanor asks. No, I say. Well, yes, it means bloom. It means B-L-O-O-M. Bloom has passed inspection. My dad hasn't even gotten to cook in his own restaurant yet because of all the other things the chef needs to do before a restaurant can actually open. Yes. Yes! Big Henry's lispy yes makes me laugh, and I start to hoot and holler. Yankees, game style, we all do, all except Eleanor. Well, all except Eleanor, who smiles, but does not hoot and holler or jump up and down. I have to fix this. I feel those butterflies start to flit around in my stomach. Because soon enough, there will be hooting and hollering coming out of Eleanor, and I'm the only one who knows it. Bye, guys. Hope you like it. I'm going to do another video on Chapter 2. Then I'm going to do Chapter 3, Chapter 4, hold on. Excuse me. I'm going to do take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5, take 6, take 7, take 8. And there's 146 pages in this book. It's pretty thick, I would say. It's about as big as my pointer finger. My pointer finger is pretty fat. but it's not as fat as my pinky. My pinky's kind of fat. My middle finger. This one has a really big tip. And then my thumb is kind of skinny. But hope you like it.